Today I'm so glad to invite Markus, an old friend of mine. So Markus, why don't you introduce yourself to our audience?
Thank you. Thanks, Maurice. My pleasure. Thanks for inviting me. My name is Markus Seidler. I'm right now a computer science student at the Technical University of Munich. As you can see here in the background, I'm right now live at the university. But I started my career in a completely different field. I started my career as an investment manager, and I've been working almost 25 years in that field. I was a portfolio manager for fixed income. I was a portfolio manager for derivatives. And then in the last few years, I was a head of a private credit team until I decided to express my second very strong interest other than investments, and that's computers. And so I decided to become a computer science student for the time being, and maybe one day a bigger computer scientist.
Thank you, Markus. So actually, Markus and I know each other for many years. We used to work in the same company, AI Group. And at that time, I was the asset owner of AI Group office. And then Markus was our portfolio manager, right? At that time, Markus helped us to take care emerging market portfolios. And then because of your tremendous performance, right? Outstanding performance. And then you move into private credit. And I mean, Markus, you are right. After like so long career path in investment management, you decided to change into a completely new field of computer science, right? So my first question to you is that, Markus, some young professional, they're always thinking about, okay, I want to be a professional investment manager.
Yeah.
I want to manage investment portfolios for my clients. Because you have been in the industry for so many years, I'm sure that you have got so many interesting stories for our audience. Can you share some of it?
Sure. I fully agree. It's an exciting career. So anyone who would like to work in investments, I highly recommend go for it. What was very fascinating for me was the fact that financial markets are the center of economies, the center of societies in many ways. So when you work with financial markets, you're clearly linked to a lot of events shaping our world. And that's just a side fact. And that makes it very, very exciting in all kind of ways. At the same time, when you're a professional investment manager and you work for an institutional investor, you work with a lot of capital. At the very beginning, that responsibility is kind of frightening at the very beginning, but you get used to it and you make an impact with that. A lot of capital means you make an impact. In my case, where I used to work for an insurance company, we made an impact on millions of policyholders, right? Making sure that their assets are in good shape and growing. And with that, you have a lot of different stories. Like I remember one day we were working with a corporate transaction, a very large corporate transaction, and the task was to convert money from one currency to the other in order to fund this corporate transaction. And that's usually very, very easy, very simple to do, very liquid market. But in this case, this was a significant, very huge amount of money. And all of us were experienced investor, but we all had wet hands in the moment of transacting, because in a one single transaction, moving so much capital we have never done before. And these are then at the end moments you keep, right? You grow with these moments, you grow with that experience, and you then manage capital in all kinds of situations, right? I always have to say there were also sad moments. It's not always bright. There were also very sad moments, just because you're linked with financial markets, you're linked to all kind of events. When I started my career as a derivatives trader, and 9/11 happened in 2001.
Okay.
And we were live, right? So that was a live event. We were trading at that moment, and no one knew at the very beginning what happened, right? But then soon after the second incident, people realized, oh, there's something really, really bad happening. And then in the next instance, as an investors, traders, we start asking the question, how do you protect your assets? How do you protect portfolios? How do you protect your clients in that sense? And in such a situation, the best answer in our case at that time was buying gold in those moments. And the problem was at that time, the very liquid gold market, the gold futures market, was in New York. an exchange, and it was not open yet. So we had to go to the over-the-counter market. People call this the exchange for physical, the EFP market, to buy gold. So I called up our gold broker in London to get a market for EFP gold, and they said, "Oh, sorry, I cannot give you market." I was like, "Why? Is it too volatile? Are you not finding buyers or sellers?" He said, "No. Our own gold broker sits right now in the World Trade Center on the upper floors, right?" And when they called the people there, they were screaming, right? Suddenly you're live in that incident, live in the event, right? So these things happen when you work with financial markets. You're just linked to all the news, to all the big and smaller events, whether it's corporate or it's political.
So Markus, I mean, you mentioned about those proud moments, exciting moments, and also those sad moments, right? So I'm sure that those, especially those sad moments, must have some impact on your subsequent mentality towards managing your portfolios, especially in terms of risk management. And also, you're right, because you're managing assets for insurance companies.
Yes.
And your investment portfolios are actually backing so many insurance policies.
That's right.
So it seems that you have much larger fiduciary duty compared with, I mean, other portfolio managers, right? And I can imagine it is also a very stressful working environment in the investment management decisions. You have to go through different kind of market cycles, ups and downs, right?
Yes.
So the reason why I mentioned this is that, is it because of all these ups and downs and high stress working environments that makes you decide to do something new?
Not at all. Studying computer science is not easier. But no, yeah, but you're absolutely right. I think my attitude, and I'm still looking at financial markets these days, and I was looking at financial markets when I was a kid. That's a given for me. That's part of me. What you learn when you look at financial markets, when you work with financial markets, when you invest in financial markets, you ideally have a very humble opinion about what you know, right? When I do an investment, I know, let's call it 50% of the time I may be wrong, right? So you prepare yourself to be surprised.
Right.
And when you have that attitude, you kind of deal a bit better with the market stress, okay? Because you need to keep a cool head. When the market is stressful, guess what? All the people around you are stressful, right?
Yes.
So you shouldn't be the one freaking out and
you are right,
panicking
because
at that
you are
moment,
professional, right?
Yes, that's right. So you wait for surprises. So I get a bit more unease in that sense when it's very, very quiet. When it's too steady and everyone believes, oh, it's the best time to buy equity, for example, then I get a bit unease. But you start learning with working with that uncertainty. And at the end, it's finding the purpose. For example, in the last few years when I was in my profession, I had the chance to build up a new investment team for a new asset class. Right? And that is very fulfilling, right? When you start building up teams, processes, right? The way how we do things, the way the guidelines, how we work with our clients, with our stakeholders, and this is very fulfilling, right? You really build a foundation. And I found this many times in my career that even the day-to-day job is kind of more like working directly with the financial markets and waiting for surprises. It's such a big topic, right? Finance, investment, capital management, asset management, there are many, many ways to really leave an impact, right? And that gives you the overall purpose, right, for doing this.
Right.
Now, going back to what I'm actually changing, right? It was always there. So even when I was a kid, I had two interests. One was investments. When I was 11 years, I already started trading currencies over the bank
11
counter.
years? You started
Yes,
trading currency at 11 years?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
Markus.
And I still don't understand the currency market. But at the same time, I started working with computers. I coded already when I was a teenager or a primary school student. So it was kind of always there. I then just I had to choose one for career, right? And no regrets. I had an excellent career. What then happened the last few years was like I rediscovered again computers as a hobby, and that hobby got bigger and bigger.
Bigger and bigger,
And then exactly, and then you come to the point and you ask, okay, which direction should it go? And it was interesting. I had a kind of a aha moment. So when I announced this and then talked to colleagues, friends, and even partners, right? And we had one meeting, there was an external asset management meeting with another partner, and my colleague was talking about me, and he said like, I'm doing a 180-degree shift in focus and turn completely around, right? And it was an aha moment because I never really saw it like that. For me, software was everywhere, right? We wouldn't have that conversation without software, right? I would not be able to do many things in my life, neither my profession in the past, without software. So it's not really so much completely different. It was just for me then the point where I felt I'm very interested in that field to explore it further and further. And I just don't want to consume technology anymore. I actually want to be on this side to produce technology.
Yeah.
Right? And that triggered a bit more like really thinking about the shift. And then you have to find the right timing.
I mean, Markus, I do think that you make a very smart decision, honestly. Although in terms of the job nature, it is a 180-degree change. You're right. But think about it. I mean, investment management, computer science, or quantitative jobs, they do have some common attributes, right? Because you got to be, I would say, quantitative and also working out solutions in a very scientific way. And I do believe that when you study computer science courses, at the end, when you go back to investment in management, you will become even stronger. You learn new skill sets from the computer science, and actually the world is changing so fast. After you spend like 20 years, 30 years in investment management, although you have gone through so many ups and downs and market cycles, but at the end, you may not be aware that there might be some new tools or new technologies out there that could help our investment industry.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
So this comes to my second question is actually, first of all, I want to ask about the challenges that you faced when you first started the computer science and try to do something new. What are the challenges and how do you cope with them?
So you're absolutely right. The underlying skills are kind of overlapping, right? So you have to be good with numbers, a bit more like thinking in systems and structures, and the portfolio managers I know, and also when I look back at my career, are usually strong in these fields, right? So that's overlapping with computer science. The very big challenges for me, the very big personal challenges for me, if you do this kind of mid-career cycle, if you think of your own career, right? You're good in what you're doing, right? You're good in applying what you understand, what you know, your experience, right? You're a subject matter expert or somehow then a leader in that field, right? So people pay you for sharing your knowledge and your expertise, right? So in other words, if it comes to your topic, you're the smartest person in that room. And then suddenly, if you change the field, it's the same like if you change suddenly another team, another function in a company, right? You suddenly transform yourself into from the smartest to the most stupid person in the room.
Not necessarily.
And that's the way how I feel often, right? I'm studying here at a great university. It's the best university for computer science in the European Union. I'm surrounded by a lot of very smart people. You just tell them they're half my age and double as smart. They come from all over the world, and particularly from all over Europe. And they, even if they start in the same semester as me, they have been doing this already for some time as hobby, as school students, and so on and so on, right? So I'm often in a position where I don't know yet. I don't understand this yet. And when you're older, you tend to have a bit more feeling for status, for ego, for hierarchy, for respect, and these things, right?
Yes.
And this one you have to give up, right? You
They're
have
all
to
gone.
put yourself in a position.
They're all gone.
Exactly. You start from scratch again, right?
Yes.
And you can do that. And I'm doing this, I'm practicing this. And that's also very fulfilling because then you learn actually, no matter which topic it is, it could be quantum computer, it could be augmented reality, it could be a sophisticated data structure, whatever it is, you can actually pick it up.
Okay? Yes.
You put yourself in a position where you can pick it up, and it's okay to acknowledge the fact that you are the stupid guy in the room, but you don't have to accept that. And that's your motivation. That's my motivation, right? So I'm transforming myself again from the corner of the stupid guy to the corner of the smart person in the room.
The process is important. If we are living in a new world that with so many new changes and happening so rapidly,
yes.
Even though we are veterans, we are experts in one area, but you have to accept the fact that in certain areas you are stupid, right? And it's all about whether you have this kind of courage or brave enough to really plunge into the new area and learn something new, right?
Yes. We need to embrace new things, basically, right? Technology. You shouldn't be afraid of that. And it's totally natural to sometimes be afraid, but the solution then is like try to understand it. Right? If you're afraid, and walk a step in that direction, try to understand. If you're afraid of artificial intelligence, then watch a few YouTube videos about AI or machine learning and these things. Right?
Yes.
At the same time, things are changing so fast, right? That's also why I believe actually AI agents at the end will be a big help for us, because things are getting so complicated. There's so many different software solutions. There's no way that you can understand all of them. There's so many different nuances of asset classes and these things, right? You need someone helping you to pick up knowledge, right?
Yes.
And that's also a big application area for AI. It moves with the attitude that you are open to changes and open to technology.
Yes. And you know what, Marcus, when I first heard about your decision to move into computer science, right? I tried to guess what Marcus will become in 5 years. You know what? My guess is that actually after 5 years, after you complete this computer science venture, you will become a very successful quantitative fund manager. I mean, by you saying your new skill sets pick up from TOM, and also by applying the machine learning and AI methodologies into fund management. What do you think? Is it possible?
Ask me in 5 years again.
So how long you're going to stay in the TOM?
The bachelor is around 3 to 4 years, and then we will see. I personally measure my own success, not just getting a degree.
I know.
First of all, it's like really understanding and learning something. But my personal challenge is actually connecting all these dots, right? At the end, if I'm very, very happy and grateful, and would be very grateful for this, if I find something which has more legs, it's more sustainable, and at the end I could build up a business model, right?
I agree.
That would be really my own personal challenge. But let's see if this is investment management or robotics or AR. Let's see.
I mean, that's just one option. And at the end, I mean, you are right, Marcus. I think the first 1 or 2 years must be tough and challenging, because everything is new. You just said it. I mean, you are surrounded by so many smart people. You just need to go through that stage. I do believe that maybe after 3 to 4 years, another option or another possibility is that you may develop something by your own. You can develop some applications, some softwares, right? Because it's a completely new and exciting area. It may be more exciting than investment itself. Right? Because I built my education app back in 2018, honestly speaking. And at that time, I knew nothing about apps. I knew nothing about technologies. But I learned it from a team of IT experts. Sense of excitement is, I mean, you will remember it for the rest of your life. And actually, those things, that experience will imprint in your brain. And somehow in the future, you will pick it up, just like what I'm doing now. I'm starting my second venture, right? This is exactly what is happening. So, I mean, personally, as a friend, Marcus, and as a former colleague, I feel quite excited and feel happy for you. It is not easy. You are right. I mean, at our age, especially you are so successful in fund management industries. As you said, when you decided to move into a new area, your colleagues, your boss, they must feel very surprised. And I would say 100% of them will say no. We'll say, Marcus, are you serious? So I can imagine that it must take you a huge courage, right?
The timing, what helps me sometimes to at the end come to that decision point. It was the same like when I moved to Asia, and I'm sure you can reflect with your changes, right? To it's like what I'm asking myself is like, if I put myself in the position of me in 10 years time and I look back, right? Would I regret if I don't take this opportunity now?
You will,
right?
I think.
And that's at the end. And if you can answer that question, then you know if you do it or you don't do it, right?
Yes. And I think because also computer science will open you up to more options in your life. I do believe that at day one you make this decision is because you have spent like more than 20 years in investment management. You do see what is coming up in next 10 years. I mean, you will be promoted to higher positions in AIA or in other companies. You will become a manager managing even bigger or larger portfolios. But that's it, right? And you will be, I mean, continuously beating the benchmark All right, impress your clients. But again, that's it. It's all about dollar and cents. It's all about money.
Yes.
But for computer science, it's really something you can't imagine. You don't know what will happen in 5 years, in 10 years. You really don't know.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So I feel you.
It's very exciting in the sense, like I see what happened around me. It's like some students together with a professor, they just introduced a TOM tutor, so an AI tool which helps you to study in some of the lectures. I have friends who are working in robotics. They're working on a humanoid robot at the moment, right? I see other people working on a small micro launcher rockets. I met yesterday someone who injected AI capabilities into investment management. So all these things happening because software is the same as capital. That's the connection of the financial markets. It's just at the center of the society at the moment, right?
Right.
So you have software everywhere, and you have this technology everywhere.
Right.
And this is very exciting, and the energy is very, very positive here. You feel that the people really want to make an impact and move the world a bit more in the right direction.
I agree. I mean, Marcus, I totally agree about what you just mentioned about impact. I mean, it is just like what I'm doing. It's all about social impact. Because at our age, when you reach a certain point in our life, you really want to see what you can bring to the society. That's all about it. I mean, thank you so much for your time today. I really look forward to hearing more exciting stories about you in TU. Remember, so many people, I think, are supporting you. So well done, Marcus. Thank you so much for your time today.
Thanks for having me, Maurice. All the best. Take care.
Thank you.